Scorpio, what is going on with you? Come on in, have a seat, make yourself comfortable. My name's Alan from UnknownTruthTarot.com. Welcome back to another Scorpio love reading. Now, if this is your first time here and you have questions that you want answered about your romantic love life or your relationship, then start now by subscribing and clicking on that little bell icon so you always get notified anytime I post a new Scorpio tarot reading for you. Now let's get on with this Scorpio love reading today, because today we're going to take a look at how your romantic person of interest really feels about you through October 2022, what they're thinking about you, and what their intentions are going to be toward you through October 2022. Then we're going to finish off by taking a look at what this person's most likely actions are really going to be toward you, what someone intends to do, what they actually follow through with, sometimes very different things. Once we get done taking a look at your person, then I'm going to get you some advice from the universe on how to best navigate the situation you're finding yourself in with this person in October 2022. That way you know exactly what to do and how to move forward in the way that's going to work out best for you. So let's get started with this Scorpio love reading today, and let's start by getting 3 cards for how does Scorpio's romantic person of interest really feel about Scorpio moving through October 2022, please. Okay, let's get one more. How does Scorpio... Okay, there it is. Thank you. On the bottom of the deck, this is energy that is underlying this person's feelings as they relate to you. We have the 7 of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy. This represents a period of time where your person is taking a pause to reflect and take stock of this connection between the two of you, take stock of this entire situation between the two of you. What they're doing is looking at the seeds that have been planted between you guys, and they're trying to decide, is this ever going to turn into the 10 of Pentacles that I really want? Is this ever going to grow into that maximum stability and abundance and prosperity, that happy, stable home life that we all want? Is this ever going to grow into a spot where we're combining our lives together? Like the 10 of Pentacles will be the combining together of 2 people or 2 families and all their assets and resources to make that happy, stable, abundant home life we all want. That's most people's goal in the physical reality. Your person's taking time to look at all of this and trying to decide, is this worth them investing their time, effort, and energy into this? Or is this a spot where maybe it's not ever going to pan out the way that they want it to be with you, and maybe I should just cut my losses and move on? So this represents that period of time where they're pausing to reflect and ask themselves those types of questions. Ooh, I think what they want is for it to pan out, because right under that we have the Empress. This is the mother of the tarot deck. She's perpetually pregnant, so she's always giving birth to new things. She's the gateway between divine or spirit or the universe or God, or however you personally look at that, and this physical 3D reality that we live in. So whenever someone's trying to manifest something, when they're waiting on something to happen in their lives, the Empress energy is how it gets birthed from that projecting into the universe to being birthed into actual reality. So she represents the birth of something new. So this is either your person like waiting on something to fully develop so that they can harvest it and birth a new connection with you, or they're waiting on an opportunity to rebirth the connection with you, or they're taking a look at this whole connection with you, trying to decide, is it even worth putting my effort into this anymore? Or should I cut my losses and move on? I don't think that's what they want to do, because they want to birth something new with you. And the fact that they haven't been able to do that is the 10 of Wands, a heavy burden. This is Sagittarius energy. This is a heavy burden that your person's carrying. Now it is a 10, and in tarot, 10s are completion. So this would be the completion of some heavy burden that they've been carrying. In other words, getting to the spot where this burden can finally be laid down and it can be moved forward without the burden. I think your person's trying to get some clarity on how to do that. This Ace of Swords is the sword of victory. It's the sword of truth. It's the sword of clarity. It can even be the sword you would make a decision with. It can even sometimes be the sword that was used to sever a relationship. I'm getting the feeling that that may be what has happened here. We'll have to come back and take a little deeper look in a second. But in the energy that actually came out for your person's feelings and how they're feeling about you through October 2022, Scorpio, we got the Devil, the Eight of Wands, and we got the Moon. The Devil is Capricorn's major arcana card. This is usually heavy, toxic energy. This can be obsession. It could be addiction. It could be a feeling of being trapped by something, or feeling like controlled by something, feeling like they can't escape something. These two people on the card are actually the same two people from the Lover's card, but they have chains around their neck and they're chained to this podium the Devil sits on. They're even growing horns and weird little tails because being exposed to this amount of toxicity, being trapped in this level of toxicity, has actually started to change who they are. A lot of times this will represent, some element of your person that they don't like about themselves. They don't want you to see that piece of them. Hell, they don't even want to look at that piece of them themselves. They probably don't even want to admit that it's there. A lot of times this will be some painful thing that happened to a person in their past, and they never actually dealt with it. They never healed it and, did the inner work on whatever that painful thing was. They just kind of like pretended like it wasn't there. They pushed it down into the shadows of themselves. They repressed it instead of dealing with it, pretending like it's not there. The problem is, whatever this represents for your person, it is there. And just because they've buried it and refused to acknowledge it and refused to look at it doesn't mean anything, because it still has control over elements of their life. So this can be them obsessing about you, them feeling like the connection between the two of you is so powerful that they can't escape it, like it's got so much magnetic pull to it that they can't get away from it. This can even represent a very strong sexual desire, sexual attraction to you that they feel like they can't escape. This is usually not a good energy, especially as the very first card in all of their energy. The person's first card is always the most important, and that Devil energy is not speaking well of your person. Next in their feelings about you, Scorpio, we have the Eight of Wands. This is Sagittarius energy. I already said Sagittarius here with this Ten of Wands. Looks like we got some Taurus here. We got some Capricorn. We got some potential Taurus or Libra here with the Empress. This final card is a Pisces card, so you could be dealing with any of those signs. You could literally be dealing with any sign. This is a general collective reading, so it's going to be almost impossible for me to pin down exactly who you are dealing with as an individual, because I'm not tapping into your specific energy as an individual person. I'm tapping into the collective energy of a very large group of Scorpio people that I'm responsible for getting messages for. So I'm not going to be able to necessarily pin this down exactly who you're dealing with, so I'm just going to call out all the signs that stick out to me prominently, just in case they have any meaning to you. But this Eight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. This is the second fastest moving energy in the deck. This can be rapid forward movement on something, rapid progress on something. Can be rapid back and forth, passionate communication on something. I don't really feel like that's what's going on, because this card implies that there's this period of pause and reflection, a period of waiting for something to either develop or something to pan out. Obsessive energy here with this Devil. The other meaning to this card can be like a whole lot of energy coming at your person all at one time. Like enough energy to make them feel overwhelmed. Like this would be like trying to take a drink of water out of a fire hose or something. It's just too much coming at them. It's too much all at once. Too much to process in terms of their feelings. The final card in their feelings for you, Scorpio, is the Moon. This is Pisces energy. This represents fear, worry, anxiety. It can represent a feeling of something being hidden in the dark, something being uncertain, and that uncertainty leading to fear, worry, and anxiety. When the moon is out, it's dark outside. It's really hard to see the path in front of you. So this can represent that your person can't see the full path in front of them, and they're having fear, worry, and anxiety about, am I still on the right path? Is this path ever going to lead me where I actually want to go? Should I stop? Should I turn around and go back? Did I make a wrong turn somewhere? It's kind of anxiety, fear, and worry about that. It can also represent something that your person is hiding from you. I'm looking at their feelings. They could be hiding their feelings from you because they're overwhelmed by how much pull this connection has. They could be hiding some toxic element of themselves, and them feeling overwhelmed by fear, worry, and anxiety. It can be any of that stuff. So you just got to take this however it resonates for your person. Next, let's take a look at what this person is really thinking about you going through October 2022. What is this person really thinking about Scorpio in October 2022, please? Let's get one more. Thank you. Got one flip over in the deck here. There we go. On the bottom of the deck, underlying their thinking about you, we have the Emperor. This is the Aries Major Arcana card. This is an energy of taking charge of a situation, taking control of a situation, possibly putting some boundaries in the way. This is a control type of an energy. This very first card out for your person is a control energy. If the Emperor is balanced, if it's like the divine version of the Emperor and not the distorted version of the Emperor, this is a card of them thinking about taking control. If it's the distorted version, this is them being controlling. This Devil energy is not them in control, it's something controlling them. So I don't feel necessarily right off the bat here that this is the divine version of the Emperor energy for them, and probably more likely a distorted version of that energy can be controlling type of a person who's concerned about getting what they want and putting together a plan to get what they want and then executing the plan to get what they want. If you think about like the emperors of ancient Rome as an example of that distorted version of the Emperor, they didn't care how many soldiers had to die to get what they want. All they cared about was conquering the neighboring territory, taking all the treasure and bringing it back to them and putting their face on some statues. If thousands of soldiers have to die in the process, oh well, tough for them. So this can be a very controlling type of an energy here. This can also be your person thinking about how to take control of the situation with you so that they can put together a plan to get what they want. It looks like what they want is that 10 of Pentacles. We alluded to that when we saw the 7 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Is this ever going to grow into the 10 that I want? Should I cut my losses and move on? This is them probably thinking about how to control the situation to get this 10 of Pentacles. The combining together of two people or two families, and all their assets and all their resources to make that stable, abundant, prosperous home life. Could also be wealth. Another meaning to this card is like at Pentacles. Pentacles are physical, tangible, usually resources, physical things, including money. This would be wealth or generational wealth or something along those lines. And then I've got an energy of more Aries energy behind it. 3 of Wands. This is an energy of waiting on something. This is about being at the beginning stages of manifesting something that they have desire for. And them have already chosen the path that they believe leads them to what they want, and they've started taking actions and steps down that path, and they have this positive expectancy that the plan they've put together and the actions that they're taking are going to lead them to what they want. It just hasn't happened yet. So this is an energy of waiting on that to happen. 3 of Swords right under that. I got 2 3s in a row here. 3 of Swords is Libra energy of heartbreak and sadness. It's usually from a third energy. Now that third energy does not always have to be another person. It doesn't have to be a romantic third party, although it can be. It can be things like nosy friends or nosy family members or nosy neighbors or coworkers or any external person that's not you, that's not them, sticking their nose where it doesn't belong and causing some heartbreaking thing. Anything that we do enough of in our life is going to start to carry its own energy. So my job carries an energy. Your job carries an energy. It could be something like that. It could be going to school. It could be partying too much. It could be an addiction. It could be anything. It could be a person from their past that's caused something to be inside of them that they never dealt with that now controls their life. And now that could be the third energy showing up here. Any number of things could represent this third energy. The important piece is that energy is causing some sort of heartbreaking situation here for them. It could be tied directly to waiting. Waiting in and of itself could carry its own energy. So it could be that. That stuff is underlying what your person is thinking about you. In their actual thoughts about you, we have the Four of Cups, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Four of Cups is Cancer energy. This is a card of being emotionally discontent, like not being fully happy with what they have right in front of them. So much so that they keep daydreaming and getting distracted by this other cup, this other thing that they believe is going to lead them to more happiness and more fulfillment. A lot of times this can represent that there is a love offer on the table between this person and you, and it just hasn't been accepted or rejected yet. It's just kind of been left hanging here in the air with nothing being done about it. That could be what they're waiting on. This could be your person contemplating. I'm looking at their thoughts. This is the first card in their thoughts, the most important thought they're having. They could be contemplating and thinking about offering a cup of love to you, but not doing it yet. Maybe because they're afraid of being rejected. Maybe they believe they have to wait on something. Maybe they have to wait on something that's heartbreaking. It's possible that they have done something toxic at some point in the past, maybe had a secret that they were keeping from you at some point in the past, and that's caused pain for you, and now they're worried that they're going to get rejected if they offer this cup of love. They're doing some thinking about not being happy with the way things are between the two of you, and either thinking about offering a cup of love or thinking about, why haven't you offered your cup of love to me, or should I accept the cup of love you've offered to me? It could be any of that stuff. Central to their thoughts is this Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is them thinking about offering a cup of love, I think. It could be them thinking about some toxic thing that they did related to a cup of love, related to a new beginning in love and emotion. So you just got to take this however it resonates for you. It could mean any of that stuff, but this Knight of Wands is the second fastest knight in the deck. It's like rushing forward, taking rapid, passionate action on something. A lot of times this gets called the player of the tarot deck, because it can be somebody that's really wishy-washy, who's like in and out and back and forth and can't make up their damn mind about what it is they actually want. Like one minute they'll want something and they'll start going for it, and then suddenly they'll change their mind and go the opposite way with it, and then they'll change their mind back, and they'll just keep doing that. It's called the player of the tarot deck because this can be somebody who rushes into you all passionately and gets what they want, and then they go somewhere else just as passionately and get what they want there, and then they come back and forth trying to play both sides of the fence. So it could be that. I've got two really fast moving wand energies right down the center of their feelings and their thoughts about you. Wands represent the male phallus and using it to be intimate and sexual energy and sex and passion and desire and drive and motivation and things like that. It's almost like your person is like, one minute they're super motivated about this cup with you, and then the next minute they pull back and they change their mind and go the opposite way with it. The final card in their thoughts is the Two of Swords. This is Libra energy of a decision that needs to be made, only they haven't made the decision yet. Either because they don't have enough information to decide whether they should offer the cup to you or not, or maybe there's something that they can't see yet, hence that blindfold, hence the moon. Notice how prevalent the moon is on the card. There could be something that they just don't have enough information on, something they can't see yet. This can even be a really stubborn energy of someone who's got the blinders on, and there's something that they don't want to see, like they're refusing to see it, refusing to look at it. Like the lady on the card's trying to decide between these two swords, but she can't see because she's blindfolded. Like what I would do is lay a fucking sword down and take the damn blindfold off, and then I can see what I'm doing. Easy decision. But she refuses to do that. So this can be a stubborn energy. This can be a stubborn energy. This is most definitely a stubborn energy. So it wouldn't surprise me if your person could be like summarized as stubborn, possibly with a toxic element to them. Another meaning with this Devil card, like I said, is like this could be something that they don't like about themselves, that they don't want you to see, but they also don't want to look at it themselves. They don't acknowledge it's there. They pretend like it's not. They're in denial about it. Both of these two energies definitely could be something like that. If that's the case, what's directly between those two cards is that wishy-washy bullshit kind of an energy of the Knight of Wands. Could be a player. Could just be somebody who can't make up their damn mind. That's their feelings and their thoughts. Let's take a look at what their intentions are toward you through October 2022. What are this person's intentions towards Scorpio through October 2022? Let's get 3 cards for what this person's intentions are towards Scorpio. Got some flip over in the deck here. Where did you go? There we are. Okay. On the bottom of the deck, underlying their intentions for you, Scorpio, we have the Hermit. This is Virgo's major arcana card. This is a card of withdrawal, isolation. This can represent that communication between the two of you is shut down. Or if it's not completely shut down, it's different than it was before. It's shorter, it's like less frequent, it's changed, it's not the same as it was before. This is also a card about somebody who is using that light, their inner light, to shine down in the shadows of themselves and having the courage to take a look at what is all that stuff lurking in my shadows, that stuff that might be controlling me. This is an energy of like being forced to go inside themselves and look at that stuff, to do soul searching, to do deep inner reflection and deep contemplation, trying to figure out what to do moving forward from here. It's trying to figure out what to do moving forward, but it's looking inside themselves for why is this stuck? What about me needs changed so that things can move forward? That's probably what they're doing in this 7 of Pentacles. We already saw this Taurus energy of like taking a pause to reflect on this connection, reflect on the situation that you guys are in, deciding, is this worth me investing my time, effort, and energy into? Is this ever going to turn into what I want, or should I cut this off and move on? They're doing some soul searching related to that. Yeah, and there's the Empress again, birthing something new, or in this case, it looks more like rebirthing a connection. Judgment, yeah, trying a lot of powerful major arcana energy here. There's, out of these 4 cards, 3 of them are major arcana. Out of the 3 that actually came out on the table, 2 of them are major arcana. Powerful energy. This is judgment. It's a final decision. It's like passing a final verdict and judgment on something. In a love and relationship reading, this is usually a decision about, are we going to call this relationship dead and over with, or can we resurrect it? Can we bring it back to life? Can we call it back from the dead and transform it in a way that it's never going to be this painful way ever again? It's a decision about that. Underneath that, underlying their intentions for you, is the 4 of Pentacles, Capricorn energy of holding on tightly to something and not wanting to let go of it. It's weird. I've seen some Pentacles, quite a few different Pentacles cards in the underlying energy of their feelings and their thoughts and their intentions. There are no Pentacles on the table whatsoever. I'm wondering if your person in the physical reality is like something's going wrong there, like something's not stable for them, like financially or material possessions wise, you know, like with tangible, can touch it, like assets and resources. Anyway, in their intentions toward you for October, Scorpio, we have the Knight of Cups, we have Temperance, and we have the Chariot. Knight of Cups. Knights are action takers. Cups are about love and emotions. So this is actions toward love and emotions. Your person's first card in their intentions are to take actions toward love and emotions toward you. That's what they intend to do. This is coming forward with romantic offers, romantic gestures, taking you out on a date, asking you out on the date, offering you the cup that they've been thinking about offering you. This is about trying to move forward in a love connection, trying to advance some love offer or a love connection. That's what they intend to do. Central to their intentions, we have Temperance, the Sagittarius major arcana card. This is a card of patience. It's about not being in a hurry, not being in a rush, not trying to blend everything together all at once, like take both buckets and dump it all together at once. This is being patient with it, mixing a little bit together, taking a step back, looking at the big picture, trying to, you know, come back in and make some fine-tuning adjustments to this as they move along, not do it all at once. Now, this can also be a card of reconciliation, like getting back together. In tarot, cups and water represent love and emotions, and here the water, the emotions, the love have been separated into 2 different cups, and this angel is recombining it all back together, recombining the love back into one. Right to the left of that here, to the left of it is actions toward love and emotions. Directly above Temperance is actions toward passion and desire, passionate actions. But also wishy-washy, can't make up my mind energy, indecisive energy. The final card in your person's intentions for you is the Chariot. This is Cancer's major arcana card. This is the fastest energy in the deck. I've also got the second fastest moving energy in the deck out here, and then the fourth fastest moving energy in the deck. So we got a lot of speed here in your person's energy. A lot of fast forward movement, or a lot of fast movement, not necessarily forward. The Knight of Wands is going backwards actually, because he's changing his mind so much. This card is about using their will to get past any problems or challenges or obstacles. It looks like that might be indecision, can't make up their mind, stubbornness, refusal to look at something that's clearly there. They just don't want to see it. Well, another obstacle could be the fear, worry, and anxiety, and the fact that they can't see the path in front of them because they don't want to see something, and that's preventing them from seeing the path, preventing them from deciding, preventing them from like keeping their mind made up, like committing to something. It's like, this is non-committal energy. It's like, I'm committed, but now I'm not, but now I am again, but now I'm not. It's like stuttering energetically. This is about using the will to get past all that stuff very quickly into success and victory. The downside of the Chariot card is the driver doesn't have any reins that connect him to these two beasts that pull the chariot. So he uses his will alone to power this thing, to steer this thing. This is either the fastest energy in the deck, like a bullet coming out of the gun, but in order to be fast like that, the driver has to be in alignment. He has to be balanced. If he's out of alignment, if he's not balanced, this thing ain't going anywhere, and it's every bit as stuck as the Hanged Man. Or worse yet, the dark side of them, this devil energy side of them, will pull them in one direction, and the light side of them will pull them in another direction, and as it moves forward, it'll rip itself in half. So your person is intending to move forward with you in this love connection very quickly. They're intending to reconcile the situation with you. It's just a matter of, can they keep themselves balanced? Or can they get themselves balanced out and take a look inside themselves here at the stuff that's out of whack? Because if they're waiting on things to change, things don't change. Circumstances don't change. Like, there's a quote, men are not the creatures of circumstance. Circumstances are the creatures of men, meaning we create the circumstances. The circumstances don't create us. And I think your person has got some internal work that they need to do here. And hopefully this is just that period of time where they're doing it, and not a period of time where they look inside themselves and then they start waiting on other things outside of themselves to change. They got to stay in balance, but they definitely are intending to move forward toward you. Be patient about it and try to reconcile the situation. But that's what they intend to do. You and I both know how people are and what they intend to do, and then what they actually follow through with and end up actually doing sometimes don't match up very well. So let's take a look at what this person's most likely actions are going to be toward you going through October 2022. What are this person's most likely actions going to be toward Scorpio through October 2022? Okay, we got us an extra card here. Sheesh. Sheesh. Bottom of the deck, underlying their likely actions, we have that Ten of Pentacles again. This is Virgo energy, maximum stability, maximum abundance, maximum prosperity. Most people's goal in the physical reality. This can represent the combining together of the two of you into one, like being combined together into one unit, into one family that's stable and abundant, living together, something along those lines. Under that, we have that Aries energy of the Three of Wands, waiting on something. So in their underlying their most likely actions, there's what they want, and there's an energy of them waiting on it. There's more Aries energy of that Emperor, like trying to take control, waiting to take control. I get the distinct feeling that something under the surface, whether they can see it or not, whether they're refusing to acknowledge it or not, something is under the surface and it's controlling them in some sense. This would be a person who's like putting up the facade that they're in control, but they're really not. Something else is running the show here. I don't know if they're waiting on control or if this is representing you, Scorpio, and that you are in control and they want this Ten of Pentacles with you, but they're waiting on you. Not 100% sure here. Not 100% sure. In their actual most likely actions, we have the Nine of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the King of Swords. Now, in a love reading, what I want to see is a bunch of cups for love and emotion. I'm cool with seeing some wands for passion and desire. I'm even cool with seeing pentacles for stability in the physical, real world. That's all good stuff. What I don't really want to see is a bunch of swords, and in these four cards for their most likely actions, they're all swords. This Nine of Swords is Gemini energy. This is fear, worry, anxiety. There's two cards in the deck that mean fear, worry, and anxiety. Your person has both of them. The Moon, fear, worry, and anxiety, uncertainty. It's in their feelings. And in their most likely actions, the thing they're most likely to do is continue to bury their face in their hands, continue to be afraid to face the situation, to be afraid to face this devil energy that's at the top of that column. This is thinking about something over and over again with all that fear, worry, and anxiety behind their thinking, and doing that to the point that they physically stress themselves out. It's mental anguish, it's sleepless nights, it's nightmares, it's like can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, getting distracted, can't pay attention to what the hell they're trying to focus on because they're worrying about something. And if the person in the card would just have the courage to take their damn hands off their eyes and face the situation head on, they would realize that those swords that they thought were so bad actually form a ladder and they could climb out of this dark spot. I don't see that that's what your person is seeing here. I see your person like pretending to be in control, but in reality, something else is in control and they either won't acknowledge it or they're afraid to look at it. Next in their most likely actions, Knight of Swords. This is the fastest knight in the deck. So now I have literally the four fastest energies in tarot all out here in your person's energy. 3 of those are in this column of cards. This is rushing forward and speaking the truth on something. It's rushing forward, taking some rapid, very decisive action on something. The Knight of Swords is not the dude who comes rushing in super fast and then has to sit down and read the instruction manual to figure out what the hell to do. This is someone who comes rushing in, they take action without even having to think about it, and then when they're finished, they leave. They don't think about it beforehand, they don't think about it while they're doing it, they usually only think about it after the fact. This can be a very spontaneous, abrupt kind of an energy, but it's laying directly beneath Temperance, like doing things nice and slow, little bits at a time, not being in a hurry. They're conflicted. They're definitely not in balance. How can you be patient about something and not be in a hurry and be willing to make fine-tuning type adjustments to get everything back together like it should be? And directly above it and below it are the 2 fastest knights in the deck. One that's wishy-washy, they can't stay committed to one thing. The other one that doesn't think shit through first, they just do it and think about it later. Probably what ends them up in this Nine of Swords, what ends them up in this Moon energy of fear, worry, and anxiety, or they can't see the path in front of them, probably got something to do with this toxic energy that's controlling things for them. The third card in your person's most likely actions is the Four of Swords. This is Libra energy of taking a pause, taking a rest, taking a break. It's about choosing to go inside themselves and heal something, or choosing to go inside themselves and like calm their thoughts down so that they can figure out what to do moving forward from here. We already saw the Hermit card. This is the minor arcana version of the Hermit card. This is a choice. The Hermit isn't a choice. Something happens and it forces a person into Hermit mode. Nobody voluntarily chooses to do the Hermit. This is a choice, though. This is your person choosing to take some sort of a pause or a break. But again, it seems very conflicted because it's laying directly below the Chariot, fastest energy in the deck. Again, like I said, this is either bullet coming out of a gun fast, or if that driver ain't in alignment, it's dead standstill, dead stop, pause. Or worse yet, it's like this Knight of Wands, back and forth. It's like the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups. Look, they're pulling in opposite directions here. I think that's what's going on with your person. I think they're out of alignment because they got something under the hood that they haven't faced, that they've been afraid to look at, afraid to deal with it. They're in denial about it. They don't want... This is like choosing not to decide, but that's still a choice. The final card in your person's most likely actions is the King of Swords. This is either Gemini or Aquarius energy. This is a decision-making energy, but it's someone who is an emotionally detached decision maker. This person does not consult their emotions or their intuition when they make their decisions. They're simply using their logical, rational, like common sense, analytical thinking, conscious mind, trying to make a decision with no input from their emotions whatsoever. This person has emotions, they just won't let their emotions get involved. When I look out here on the table, like I said, in a love reading, I want to see a buttload of cups. I have 2 cups out of 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 cards. Only 2 of them are cups. Your person is detached emotionally here. They're trying to make a logical, rational, fair, analytical decision, but this can be someone who comes off to you, especially as a Scorpio who can feel people like very, very deeply, very intuitive. This person probably feels like cold and calculated and cunning. They're way too stuck in their mind, too stuck in their thoughts, not accessing their feelings here at all, which is another good way to get out of balance. In terms of decision makers, this is head over heart decision making. In fact, this is throwing the heart and the emotions out the damn window and pretending like they don't exist. That's a very unbalanced way to make decisions. The opposite end of the spectrum would be the King of Cups, who kind of just uses his emotions to make the decisions. I see what's right in front of me. Yes, that the logical thing, the common sense thing tells you to do one thing, but I feel like I should do this other thing, so I'm going to do that instead. Also, a very unbalanced way to make decisions. The best way to do it is to have the balance between both of those things, where you use your head and your heart, your conscious mind and your unconscious mind, your intuition, your instincts, your gut feelings. This person isn't doing that. They're very likely to stay in their head and try to logically and consciously figure out what to do. But notice here, they're worried and fearful and anxious and stressing themselves out and refusing to look at something. And then they take action without thinking first. They only take action and then think about it after. And then like all the thinking about it comes after the action taking here. That's not temperance. That's not the Chariot. This person is out of balance. Out of balance. And I'm not blaming them. I don't know that it's their fault they're out of balance, other than the fact that they're not facing this toxic energy here. Like, they don't want to look at it. They may not even realize that it's there. It may have happened a long time ago, and they've gotten so good at repressing it and covering it up that they truly, legitimately don't know that it's there. Most of the time, this toxic stuff comes from someone else hurting them at some point in the past, and they just never dealt with it. It could be that. I don't want to sound like I'm convicting your person of being a jerk or anything like that. I don't see anything that makes me think that. They're just very indecisive, very wishy-washy, probably got shifting loyalties, and just can't make up their mind on what they want and then stay committed to it. That's your person, Scorpio. Let's get you some advice on how to navigate the situation you're finding yourself in with this person through October 2022. What you should do, what you shouldn't do, kind of how you should play this situation in the way that makes things work out the best for you. What is the advice for Scorpio about how to navigate the situation with this person for October 2022, please? Let's get one more. Navigate it. Thank you. Flipped over here. Come here. This card bent as it came out. On the bottom of the deck. See why this card bent now. We have the Ten of Wands. Sagittarius energy of a heavy burden that you're carrying. Related to this person. Related to the situation you're finding yourself in with this person. The whole thing is a heavy burden to you. It is a 10 though, and in tarot 10s represent completions. This should be the completion of you carrying a heavy burden. This should be the spot where you get to lay this heavy burden down and move forward without it. Got the Hierophant right underneath that. This is Taurus Major Arcana card. This is a card of commitment. It's about being in a committed relationship, a committed connection, taking things to the next level. This is also at its real core a card of a teacher or someone who is teaching something here. I'm not sure if this is saying this whole situation you've been through with them is a burden, or that they themselves are a burden, or if being in a commitment with them has been a burden, or if this is saying you've been carrying this burden, it's time to lay the burden down so that you can have a committed connection, or if this is saying this burden was put here for you to teach you something. Something about love, something about new beginnings in love, something about filling up your own cup before you get involved with someone else. That is a very common thing I see. Like most people's goal in love and emotions is that 10 of Cups, that happy fairy tale love connection where we've combined ourselves together and we're fully in love and fully happy as a unit. What the real goal should be is the 9 of Cups, that love for yourself, like being okay in and of yourself, emotionally fulfilled in and of yourself, happy with yourself, knowing that your own happiness comes from inside you, not externally from you. Your own love and your sense of love and being worthy of love comes from inside you, not from an external person. This could be saying, hey, the burden here is supposed to be teaching you self-love, how to fill up your own cup. You have to get all of your own cups full yourself. If you're waiting on this person or any other person to show up and fill up the rest of your cups for you, you're putting your happiness and your love and your worthiness of love in someone else's hands, when it's really supposed to be your responsibility to fill your cups up. The only real way to get to that 10 of Cups that we all want is you have to have all 9 of your own cups full, and this person has to have all 9 of their cups full. And then when you come together, you don't need their emotions. You don't need anything from them because you're already happy and love yourself. And they don't need anything from you because they're already happy and they love themselves. But because you're together, you're going to pour your love into them anyway, and they're going to pour their love into you anyway. That's what makes those cups overflow. That's what fills up that 10th cup and gets you to the 10 of Cups. I ain't seen 9 cups out here yet, and I ain't seen the 10th cup out here yet. I just got this one, and it's yours. 4 of Cups is right under that. Now we saw this, it's Cancer energy. We saw this as the very first card in your person's thoughts, thinking about offering that cup of love to you, or thinking about you, the cup of love that they don't have, that they're not happy that they don't have. Notice there is no cup hanging in the air here in your advice. All 4 cups are around him. This is about emotional stability, emotional balance, getting yourself emotionally balanced, having your own cup full. This is underlying your advice. Like, this is the part of the advice I got to show you before I tell you what this is. Otherwise, it probably won't make as much sense. In terms of the actual advice that came out, Page of Wands, the World, which bent on me here. This is a card of completions. Completion of a heavy burden. And then we also got the Libra Major Arcana card, Justice. Now the Page of Wands, pages are messengers. So this represents news and messages and communications about passion and desire. You're probably going to be getting something like that from this person. This is also the Minor Arcana version of the Fool. The Fool is about just throwing caution to the wind and taking that blind leap of faith, not needing to know what all the steps are before he takes the first step, not needing to know what the end result is going to be before he takes the first step. It's about saying, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to jump off the cliff and I'll worry about how to grow wings on my way down. I'll figure this out as I move along. This ain't the Fool. This is a much more toned down version of the Fool. This is having the willingness to take the very first steps down a brand new path towards something that you have passion and desire for. Next, we have the World. In terms of zodiac signs, this would be the 4 fixed signs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. This is the final card of the Major Arcana. We just talked about the Fool. That's the very beginning of the Major Arcana, card 0. This ain't the Fool. This is willingness to take the first steps down a new path. This is a card of completion, ending the cycle and beginning a beautiful new cycle. That's saying when one door closes, another door opens. It's time to lay a burden down for you and have the willingness to do that and take a first step down a new path, completing the cycle with this person, starting a new cycle for yourself. Final card in your advice, Scorpio, is the Libra Major Arcana card, Justice. This is the most powerful card of balance in the deck, completely absent from your person's energy. They could have had the 2 of Pentacles or the 6 of Pentacles or Justice come out of this deck for them. Any of those would have been balancing something. You're the one with the balance, not them. I said it the whole time. I think this person's out of balance. They're out of alignment. They've got some stuff going on that they're not dealing with. This is a card about balance. It's about doing the right, fair, just thing. It's about cutting away something that's not in balance, so balance for you gets restored, and then the right, fair, just thing happens. Like what's supposed to happen for you can happen, but not until you have the willingness to take the first steps down a new path toward ending a cycle and beginning a new cycle. Once that happens, that's where your balance comes in. That's where what's supposed to happen for you actually happens. And I think it requires you to learn the lesson from the burden that you've carried with this person. Learn the lesson. You're going to have a decision. Do I continue to carry this burden farther than I should, or do I lay the burden down, because now is the time to do that? Take the lesson with you instead of the load, and fill your own cup up. Get yourself emotionally balanced, and then start putting in the work, the time, effort, and energy to create what it is that you want for your life. Now, if you still have questions that you want answered about this situation or your relationship, click on any of the videos that just appeared on your screen right now. And when you do, you'll be taken to more Scorpio love readings that can give you more insight and more clarity about what's really going on in your particular situation. And I'll see you in the next video.